sounds like a quick thing, but I actually genuinely mean it. Like, you don't actually have to do this. And we all hear really deep things all the time, and I don't take it for granted. Like, I think it's a really beautiful thing, if I'm being honest. We do need the community.
Am I allowed to have emotions like this?
Family.
How am I going to be viewed when we speak about these things? Because blackness, we're quicker to show anger than to show sadness.
I just don't think love by itself, for a romantic relationship and a life partner, someone you're doing life with and all they bring you is love.
That's also a good point. We don't know.
I think I need to see what I look like.
I like to
I
see what I
won't
look
bang
like.
it out, but I'm like, nah, you can be moving mad.
It's true,
But then my friend was like, but in real life, that isn't the case.
Well, you don't look at yourself when
You
you're
know
talking.
what I mean?
Yeah. When you're talking to
So
someone, you don't
it's
look at yourself.
quite weird when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. It's a very weird
that's
thing.
fascinating.
It's actually
Yeah.
quite weird.
Now I'm going to try that, when I go home.
What, just turn it off?
can't
Change the setting, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's
It
a
would be
shout
so
because
weird, man. We're too used to it now.
no,
Having
I
ourselves in
know,
a
but
little
when
square in
you're
the
doing
corner.
like meetings and stuff, I don't really like the idea of me looking between.
Yeah.
things.
And
Like,
that's
I
what
need to
people
be
were saying.
focused.
Like, they get distracted.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. Now I'm
Yeah.
questioning myself. Do I look at myself more than ever?
You might, to be
I might
fair.
do.
Yeah. Next time you're on a
I
call.
think that's a normal thing to do, though. Like, what? If we walk past like a reflective space, you kind of look at yourself.
There is a
Like,
normality, but
yeah,
I think
yeah.
a lot of people were basically saying they do it to an abnormal point where they would be more fixated on what they
look like than the other
actually
person.
engaging in the conversation.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so interesting, man.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
I didn't even know it was a setting. Now I know it's a setting. Then
Yeah.
then I might do that.
Because one of my colleagues had it on. I was like, where are we? Like, put us back on. And she was like, no, I'll keep looking at myself.
Okay.
I was like, she said, I was like, oh, yeah.
I know people put filters on because like Zoom, you can have like a
Yeah.
skin smoothing situation. Yes.
Oh, they got the pro package.
Facetune is definitely on Zoom. Yes. Yeah. You look. You look more airbrushed on Zoom.
Swear.
You
not the
look
standard.
most crusty on Google Meets. No, you do.
I've got Google Meets and I think this as well. Sometimes like the lighting's not doing me justice
Yeah,
here.
but the light is different.
You're now actually getting me thinking.
I'm not
about
trying to
this.
chat on Google. You can sponsor us.
Yeah,
I like that. I like
just
that.
saying.
I like that.
There's different levels to this thing. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
Wow.
That's that.
Over days.
Anyway.
Should we do an intro? Guys, welcome to the Listener's Couch, where psychology meets culture. And you're here with Dr. Shadiq.
And I'm Dr. Amani.
We have gone absent today, so Dr. Cheryl's not here. She's enjoying life in Morocco. However, we've got a special guest today. Let me get ready for this one. Let me get ready.
All right.
Ready for this
Drum
one.
roll it.
We have with us today award-winning clinical psychologist,
All right.
specializing in trauma and PTSD from community and or gang violence. Co-founder and director of Psychologists The Streets Deserve London. UK Trauma Council member. Author of Life of a Top Boy. Disseminating research across the globe.
All right now.
Dr. Ron.
You've gone clear with the intro there.
Come on.
I'm honest, I might just have to post that all over the page. I'm like, this is what I have. That's yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, of course we had to. You're our first guest as well.
I'm so
It's on your right.
excited.
Yeah. No, I'm glad, and we had to because all of the things that you just said, he's doing he's doing things.
Great things.
The people I know are doing it. My friends are doing things. I haven't clipped you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Likewise. No, there's no claim to fame. You're doing bits.
thank
Let's
you.
not minimize
Come
the
on.
greatness.
No, but this is an absolute expert when it comes to community, what we call community violence, or people might know more as gang violence. I think it's probably like more commonly known, do you know what I mean? But like trauma, but it's an important conversation for the community. Like I don't know, you will probably know some specific statistic, but I would say that the majority of us have faced some kind of level of trauma.
100%.
Whether like immediately or indirectly through just like the history of migration that we've been through, historical contexts that exist around us as a people. This is something we have to talk about.
Facts.
Absolutely.
So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So what is the title of today's YouTube?
Today we're going to be thinking all about trauma. But because we have you here, who are a specialist, especially around, I guess, the black male experience when it comes to trauma, are we really understanding trauma? Are we really hearing Black men when it comes to their trauma. So that's that. So that kind of brings us on to our in session, talking all about trauma.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Does this feel easier? Or is it
No.
more nervous? Is it easier when it's live?
Yeah.
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 Before it's live, because you're getting so much feedback, people asking questions, comments,
All right.
and it feels like you're really. It's not just us talking.
Yeah.
It's a real discussion
I get
with
that.
everyone.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Ron,
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
I want you to give us a little bit of your background, thinking a little bit, okay, like, how did you know that this was going to be a thing that you wanted to, do,
That's a good question.
become a psychologist? Because you lot are rare.
Rare.
There's what's the...
Yeah.
So when I was like looking, when I was going under training, I was looking at the different percentages of like men versus women and stuff. You know, all of like 2% or something.
Yeah.
Like it was low.
Yeah, it was low.
Yeah. So what kind of brought you here?
So I'm a South London boy.
Right.
Like that's a big part of my identity. But whenever people ask me this, I always have to like go back to my teenage experiences.
Okay.
So grew up in Wandsworth, and actually grew up at a time when South London boroughs generally had high levels of gang-affiliated violence and murder, actually. And I often talk about two prominent gangs that I guess I grew up around. So you had TZ, Terror Zone, in Tooting and Mitcham, blast of the past, and bro.
Wow.
But these are the things that have stuck with me. So you had TZ, Terror Zone, Mitcham and Tooting. You had SUK, Stick Up Kids, Clapham Junction, Battersea. And again, if you actually know the geography of the area, Wandsworth is in the middle. So often people would come through Wandsworth to enact violence towards one another. So Wandsworth became quite a hot spot during my teenage years. From that, I guess me, my friends at the time, we were exposed to community violence, which meant that we were seeing violence at such a young age. And I guess at the time, we didn't know that we had adopted trauma responses, but we were constantly trying to navigate our lives because of survival and self-preservation. So I was quite curious from a young age, like, why do we keep moving mad like this? Like, we can't go to certain areas, we can't say certain things. Like, we used to go to Burgess Park, and when people were like, where are you from? We had to lie.
Oh, really?
I remember us saying, oh yeah, we're from Fulham, because it sounds like a nice neutral area. If I was to say I'm from Wandsworth, it could get a bit techie. So like, it was just fascinating the things that we were having to do from a really young age. Then as I got older, and I often kind of say that some of my friends went down a very different route because of that exposure. And I always kind of say that learning, curiosity and education, I think actually saved me, because I was a hothead when I was younger.
As in, like, you could get...
I was a hothead when I was
okay,
younger.
okay.
And my friends kind of knew me to be a hothead. And there's something around, this could be a whole podcast in itself, but there's something around when you are growing up in ends and you're the eldest sibling, you almost have to create a bit of a name for yourself somewhat, just to survive yourself. So like, I had friends that had family members, older family members, who were connected to stuff. So if things happened to them, they had somebody that they could speak to or somebody that could sort it. I didn't. So then I almost felt like at a young age I had to become a bit of a hothead to ensure people didn't bother me. So when I talk about education saving me, I could have gone down a very different path quite easily, actually. But my interest for learning, my interest for education, I think really put me in a positive place.
And this came from you, as in, like, no one was telling you, you need to be, your head needs to be in your books. Like, you just...
Oh, yeah,
like,
100.
Okay.
But I think I was quite unique in that growing up in Wandsworth, I don't know if this was from my mum strategically or just happened to be the case, but I was surrounded by lots of white people growing up.
Okay.
So I had all of my black friends, but I actually had white friends in primary school. And obviously single mum, my mum was doing the 2-job stuff. So she would drop me off to some of my white friends' houses for them to take me to school. So I was exposed to just a whole different lifestyle from a very young age. I was like, this is fascinating. But I was a bit of a nerd when I was growing up, and I claim it. Like, I enjoyed learning. So when it got to college, I felt a bit more confident for my inner nerd to come out. So I studied psychology, sociology, philosophy. Like, I was moving mad.
Okay.
I was just on deep thinking from a young age.
Philosophy is deep. That's deep.
Listen,
thinking,
get lost in there.
Thinking about thinking.
But they all complement each other when you
absolutely.
really think about it.
Yeah.
So it kind of from there shaped me up to be the type of adult I wanted to be, but the type of psychologist I wanted to be. So I had a great psychology teacher, Mr. Angel.
Come on.
I will never forget
Big
this
up him.
guy. And he did one of those social experiment, like, you know, Ashen, Zimbardo, and all that.
Yeah.
But he asked the whole class, I'll never forget it. Put your hand up if after you've gone to the toilet to do a number 2, you wipe your bum and look at the tissue.
Wait, what? He asked you
He
that?
asked the whole
The
class.
whole class.
But you know, I
College.
guess
No, and deep it though,
it's true,
because
Pastor.
it's true. Everyone does it, but nobody put their hand up. And I guess he was trying to do a live example of how like social experiments work. where
Yeah.
I was hooked.
Hooked in it.
I'm not gonna lie. From that point, hooked.
Big up Dr. No,
Yeah,
sorry,
big-
Mr. Angel.
Mr.
Angel.
Still.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then was it from then you were like, okay, I'm into this. I want to learn more about this. Like,
So I was into psychology.
okay.
At that age, I don't think I really knew the different types of psychologists you could be.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew I wanted to be a psychologist, but I hadn't quite formulated. So even at undergrad, I thought once I'd done my undergrad, I'm a psychologist now.
I wish.
Oh no.
I wish.
Just
Honestly, I didn't actually know that. But I guess it was at uni where, because it's becoming a bit more specialized and you're learning about the different types of psychologists, I was like, I could see myself either being a clinical psychologist or forensic psychologist.
Okay, yeah.
I'm very glad that I moved away from the forensic, because the more I know about it now, I don't think I would have been built for it. So I'm very grateful that the clinical route is where I went.
Yeah. And then you just went on from there. Just did it.
I mean, it wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't easy. I mean, I was with you on the ride for some of it. I was with you on the ride for some of it. Yeah. It wasn't easy for us. It wasn't.
I don't even know how many times. Like, I had applied for about 6 times before I got on. Like, my story is a bit quiet. But I guess I was always, and maybe it's just the way that I think I was always preparing for plan Bs.
Okay.
So like, did my masters, did the PWP route.
Yeah.
Did the high intensity, bro. I've done it.
Did it
I've
all.
literally done it.
Decorated.
I've done it all. But I guess that was all with the thinking that if I don't get onto clinical psychology, let me have my backup, which I guess would have been the CBT route.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Well, what made you keep going? Because some people will be like 6 times and forget it. I got CBT, and a lot of people, as you said, I'm a therapist in a sense. That's good enough.
Fascinating question. What made me keep going? It might have been my mum, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, to be fair, my mum, even though she wasn't happy, she hasn't been happy since college times. When I told her I'm doing sociology and philosophy, she's like, what are you doing?
She wasn't happy with you.
Come on.
Yeah.
Fresh African mum.
Okay, fine.
My mum wasn't born here.
The context.
She came here when she was 30. She's a big African woman
Okay.
that is very much in an African way. So when she's not trying to hear philosophy.
No, what's that
like, what the
gonna
hell are you
teach
going to do with that?
her? What's it gonna do? Yeah.
So like there was something around, at first my mum wasn't happy, but I think she really saw that this was something that I was interested in. And actually she was like, don't give up on this. Don't give up.
Big
Because
up,
like I
mumsy.
think she could see that it was a very white middle class profession because actually she was a nurse, so she had somewhat exposure to that.
Okay.
But she was like, keep going and this is what you want. I was like, you know what? Yeah.
Pick up Mumsy.
pick up Mumsy.
We wouldn't
Yeah,
have Dr. Rowan without her.
Perseverance.
Yeah, man. I love it. So cool. You had your experiences when you were younger. You saw what was happening in community. Your head was already kind of thinking, guys, what's going on here? Obviously, then get into psychology, and what you just knew that those two things had to come together.
Yeah, somewhat. So like I think it really intensified on my actual training. So I don't know how cheeky to be, but obviously my cohort at Hearts was the first year that had additional training.
Okay.
So additional places for training with the extra funding.
Yeah.
So originally Hertfordshire cohort was about 15, 16. My cohort was then the first, which was 23. And at the time, the university really struggled with looking for placements. So I kind of used that to my own opportunity really, and thought to myself, if I can find a placement for them, they're going to be happy because they're already struggling. So I'd been having conversations with a charity in North London that ultimately works with young people who are caught up in community violence. Big up Art Against Knives. And so once I kind of sourced that placement somewhat, I was like, all right, there's a placement here that's willing to take me on. Can it run? And they were like, yeah. So I guess that was the first time I was really thinking about what kind of spaces do I want to be in, and what could that look like? How can I test out psychology? So that was the first time I tested out psychology in a community service ultimately. And I think from that point I was like, no, they're rating me because I guess they can understand that I have somewhat experienced their their lifestyle. I understand the nuance attached. Obviously not to the same degree in terms of experience, but I still have an idea and I understand the nuances that come with it, even through the way that we talk, the slang that we might use. There's certain things that they're doing to test me to see if I actually know what they're talking about. Yeah, the connection was there. So I think from that point, I was like, yeah, I need to work with young people. I need to work in the community. I need to work with trauma, actually. My third year placement was in a prison, and that solidified. I need to work with black. So I predominantly work with black boys, black men, not only, but usually they are the ones caught up in community violence that want to see a black man. Not all the time, but a lot of them do. So then I've just become a bit of a figure in that space.
A big figure in that space, boy, in the last few years.
What I was thinking about as you were speaking is, you said you work in the communities, and also you train CBT, high intensity therapists as well, right?
Yeah.
Taking with what you know into the CBT, how it's packaged, how it even came about. Now, when you're working in communities, does it work? Does it mesh? How much of yourself do you bring, and how much you kind of just park?
I mean, I don't ever just do one type of therapy. Do you know what I mean? Like the integrative approach. I know everyone bangs out, integrative.
Holistic.
But I hear it though, like, and I often have a real. It's about, I've got a love-hate relationship with CBT because I've seen the efficacy of it. I've seen how it can actually help people when done properly. I think a lot of services, unfortunately, aren't doing proper CBT, but I don't want to go on a rant. But CBT done properly is really, really good, actually. Of course, it's not applicable to everybody, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't use it or use tools from it because they can be useful. So I'm trying to think, are there things that I would do from a CBT model? Behaviour experiments. I think they're fantastic in a lot of different contexts. So I don't know if I'm working with somebody who might be showcasing PTSD symptoms, and we've done, I don't know, like stabilization type stuff. And
we need to explain some of these things that we're saying. So we're using like CBT,
cognitive behavior.
We need to.
Cognitive behavioural therapy is, I guess, is a modality, a form of intervention.
Type of therapy.
Type of therapy where we are. I guess it's very much based on the connection between thoughts, feelings, behaviours, and how they can then lead to lots of issues that people might be facing. And by addressing or helping to support people's thinking and helping them to adapt their behaviours, there can be a positive response to that. So that's kind of what we're thinking about CBT. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
You were saying that. Yeah, sorry.
So behaviour experiments. So I might do a little behaviour experiment attached to some of the PTSD work that I do, especially when there's avoidance attached. So people might be deliberately avoiding particular things because of those thoughts that they have in their mind. And a behaviour experiment can be really useful.
Yeah.
And Dr. Ronak, I know you just mentioned PTSD, and I've actually been privy to when you've actually described PTSD before. Please, can you describe something? Because it's stayed with me.
All right, so post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. So how I often, let me see what it is first. Basically, it's a diagnosis given when certain criteria are met. And that's based on a collection of cognitive, behavioural, emotional responses to a traumatic event. I kind of just break down PTSD literally by the letters. So P, post, meaning after. So people would have been experiencing these responses as a result of exposure to a traumatic event that often comes after that event. The T, traumatic. So this is where we're thinking about the event that occurred was quite distressing, overwhelming, threatening. The S being the stress, which I guess refers to some of the trauma responses you might typically see, and we'll probably touch on that a bit later. And then the D, disorder, where if we don't intervene in some way, actually healing can't occur, which also means you're probably going to deal with these trauma responses for a long period of time. It's kind of how I break it down. A lot of people are quite receptive to that. Yeah.
When I first heard, I said this.
No, for sure. Yeah, because I do feel like the PTSD, along with like other mental health conditions, OCD, anxiety, depression, are people know the words now, right? We have social media, people know the words, and they might say something like, "Oh, it's triggering my PTSD," and not really knowing what they're saying. So you breaking it down, be like, guys, it's a stress response after a traumatic event. I think it's really important for people to know.
It's vital because whilst on the one hand, I'm a fan of the general person understanding psychological terms. On the other hand, I think it can negate people's experiences. So somebody that truly has PTSD isn't trying to hear the average person saying, I've got PTSD, if they don't have it. That can be quite invalidating for the experience. And this is where I struggle with things, actually.
Yeah, but this is when the word trauma then becomes conflated with PTSD, right? Because again, social media, just people knowing things a little bit more, they'll be saying, okay, it's my trauma. Let's say my trauma. Like people like really own it, and it's like, my trauma, or I do this thing because I was triggered because of my trauma. And I guess then people conflate it with PTSD. PTSD in itself is a clinical diagnosis. Like you have to met a clinical
8 criteria. I guess if I'm thinking about the DSM-5's understanding of, and again the DSM-5 for those that don't know is one of the manuals, some people say Bible, that psychiatrists, clin psychs would often use when thinking about diagnosis. So the DSM-5, the Diagnostic Statistics Manual for Mental Disorders 5, by the APA. So they have a slightly different way of understanding PTSD to the ICD-11, it's the International Classification for Disease. 11. So with the DSM-5, there are 8 criteria that need to be met for a diagnosis of PTSD. So when people are kind of spewing out, I've got PTSD, a lot of them would never reach all 8 of those criteria.
You have to reach a very specific criteria. So I think it's important for people to know, okay, like what is trauma? What does this look like? Okay, so if we're thinking about PTSD, so say if I'm meeting someone, I'm trying to kind of assess it, I'm looking for those specific things, I'm looking for the kind of thinking things that are happening. So are you getting intrusive thoughts about the situation? And when we say intrusive, as in you could be living your life and whoof, it comes into your head and it's like, wait, what's this doing here? Are you then trying to avoid those situations? And that can be a thinking thing as well. You can do things internally in your head to try and avoid it, but you can physically do things as well, as in avoid the situation or location in which you experienced the trauma. You can not do certain things in the hopes of then not having to experience that thing again. I'm thinking about kind of flashbacks as well, which is kind of similar to an intrusive thought. However, a flashback is quite a kind of whole body, like I'm reliving it type of thing. Like almost the stress that you feel in that moment, in that flashback, is similar to what you experienced in that moment. So I'm looking for that. I'm also looking for things like nightmares as well. Nightmares is a big part of it, isn't it? Things like substance misuse, again, that's part of avoidance. Like how do I get rid of all of these things? There's so many things. I don't know if we can go into all of them in detail, because there's so many things that I'm looking at, but I think I'm saying this to kind of highlight the fact that I'm looking for a list of criteria, which not everybody will meet, but quite a few people will meet. And I think it's important for the people that are meeting that criteria, they know that they can go and get those assessments and get the support. You know what I mean?
Agreed. So with the population that I work with, who it's not even young people, it's young people and adults who have experienced community violence at some stage in their lives. A lot of them are just walking around with undiagnosed PTSD, if I'm honest. Some cases, complex PTSD, thinking more around the ICD-11. And that's where I feel a bit of a duty and a responsibility actually to support as many young people as I can to make sense of their experiences. And of course, that doesn't mean everybody's going to have PTSD, but it means even if they don't, they understand that they have lots of different trauma responses. So then the work becomes, how do we help to address those trauma responses? The PTSD labels are relevant. Actually, how do we address those trauma responses?
Because even with Dr. Amani, as she kind of said some of the symptoms, what would it look like, for example, in some of our communities, for example, avoiding certain areas? And because some people would be like, I don't experience that. But they do.
100%.
You know?
And there's something about, with the avoidance comes like an embodied experience of if you were told to go to that area that you're avoiding, what's your body telling you?
Stress.
And do you know what I mean? If you're stressed, then that should be a telltale sign, okay, this is a bit more serious than I thought it was. Because a lot of people, a lot of men, a lot of black men that I see will do the whole bravado thing. No, I just don't go to that area. But why though? And if I told you that you needed to go to that area, then what? Avoidance is serious.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because it's like all of these things are kind of then reinforce each other, right? So let's use your things like Wandsworth, and for example, cool. You go into the park, right? And you experience something and you're like, okay, cool, I'm not going there. But because of the kind of narrative of how these kind of gangs is set up, it's almost a rule that you're not meant to go there. So you can hide behind the rule and be like, no, we don't go there because we're not meant to go there. No, it's also avoidance, right? So then it kind of like feeds into each other and it's a loop. And then people, especially men, when they've been taught that they have to hide their feelings and they can't be scared, they will kind of use these rules as a defense, as an avoidance thing. Because they have to keep up that bravado. But that's also survival though.
It's a fantastic example, you know. I'm gonna have to take that one. I won't go lie. That was really good.
You know, it's my job. It's what I do anyway. It's my 9 to 5.
Yeah, that was a really good example still.
But no, I do. But I feel for, again, I work with young people and young boys doing the same things. And there's a lot of, bravado, and we understand where that comes from. But it's really sad to see.
100%.
Really sad to see. Do you feel like there's a misunderstanding of Black men and trauma? My experience. So do you think that we might overlook it? Do you think that we might downplay it? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not the only Black man here.
Yeah. I wouldn't say downplay, but sometimes I think what's been passed on, especially, for example, some people, whether you're affiliated or not, you could literally just be born into an area. And you now, they see you as that. For example, you'll be going to school. You can be scared to go to school because your bus goes past a certain area that you're not allowed to go to, even though you're absolutely not involved. So when we say, do we misunderstand? Actually, these are real things happen to people. They have to kind of, these are obstacles in the day to day.
That was me growing up, you know.
Right?
That was literally me growing up. So being from Wandsworth and having friends that were closer to the Clapham Junction SUK side, my college was in Tooting.
Right.
My college was in Tooting.
Okay.
Every day was a panic.
There we go.
For me to jump on this 270 bus all the way to Tooting thinking what might happen.
And who's going to get on the bus?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And actually, if I'm telling them I'm a Wandsworth boy, how are they going to make sense?
Yeah.
Long. So long.
Yeah.
So these are like real things. And it's like, what have they learned in terms of, am I allowed to now say, Mum, I'm scared, in terms of, if I go to school, I don't know who's going to get on this bus. And can you tell your mum that? You can, but that's never been shown to you. And then when you do tell your mum, and she potentially tries to, mums and parents, they try and help you and protect you in some way. But then now everyone around the area now knows that your mum's privy to all these kind of things. That's not cool.
Yeah. She can't.
And on top of that, can we trust the systems? Now, if you tell the school to put something in place, 100%. How are you then looked at? Because we're taught, in a sense, 100%. To don't trust the system, right?
Yeah.
They never helped us in the past. Why do they help us now?
Yeah.
These are you guys' problem in your community. You deal with it. That's our rhetoric.
Yeah. I hear it.
Agreed.
So maybe it's not even a downplay or it's a misunderstanding of how deep it is.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yes.
and when we say like deep, like
facts.
I'm talking like individually deep, as in down to your biology. The amount of stress that you feel every single day, right? Cortisol levels going through the roof, and then also the health conditions that can be on top of that. Then we throw on to the fact that a lot of Black men don't want to then kind of get help for their health conditions. So now your health conditions keep going round. Cool. So that's deep on that level, Now if we think about it on like a systemic, wider societal, historical context level, right? You don't want to go to school. So then you miss out on your education. Or you do go to school and you're stressed. So now you're acting out, quote unquote, behavioral issues. Now you're called bad breed or you've got conduct disorder or whatever it is. Now you're kicked out of class. Now you're missing out on your education. So what are you going to do? You're going to find other means to make money. So then you see media. I'm going into how many levels at play here. Media saying, oh, you know what? If you want to make quick money, because that's what you need to do as a man, if we're thinking about the kind of dearth and vacuum from male role models that happen at the moment that's being fulfilled by a manosphere, right? Has been told that your worth is in what you make. Okay, I can't do the education thing. I need to make money. These lot are saying that I must make money. These lot are also showing me I can make quick money if I become a rapper or whatever. And that's fine. If you have those talents, that's absolutely fine. But those facilities aren't always there in your community to allow you to work on those talents. So then what do? You go to quick money, which can come from gang behaviours or drug dealing or whatever it might be. And now you're in the criminal justice system. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's just so layered, and it's actually really deep. And I think that's the thing that people probably don't have the words for. I think people know it. People can put things together. I don't like to assume that people are unintelligent. Like, I think people know it, but it's just they don't really have the words and the links to put these things together, because it's a systemic issue. And then impacting us as a community, us as individuals, but also if we're thinking about kind of, if you have children, you know, generational trauma, right? Like, it's so deep. And I think that's probably what people are misunderstanding or not really knowing or don't have the words for. Do you get?
I think a lot of people have, as you mentioned at the start, have experienced trauma or experienced a traumatic situation. And this is where, again, I think I'm I love a definition of things. I love to understand what I'm talking about and then let other people know this is what I mean when I'm talking about trauma. So like, when you say trauma, what do you mean? Because there's a middle place that needs to be met in terms of our understanding and sense making. So I'm always just curious about how people, one, have come to understand trauma and where that might have come from, but also how that might look like in their lives. Definitions are important, man. They really are.
Definitions are really important.
And trauma is a tricky one because there is no one set definition of trauma.
We don't have a
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so everybody's already working from their own subjective idea of what it is, which is a huge problem, actually.
That's a good point.
It is a good point. No, go on, what were you going to say?
No, 'cause I was thinking, especially when we think trauma, literature, and what's going to put out there, just like combat, excuse my language now, but like childhood abuse, that's the things that stick and people think about. But there's so much different types of trauma, which is why people are kind of like, wait, hold on, can I have PTSD from that? That's not what I've seen on the media when that's pushed out there. Right? It could literally be from a certain type of surgery, all these kind of things. These are traumatic.
Agreed.
But are people in the community, do they know that? What you've seen, witnessed, you know?
You don't even have to directly experience the traumatic event. Like, you can be traumatized by seeing something. I watched Edward Scissorhands when I was younger, and it was really upsetting. Like, I found it really overwhelming. And I know that's like, I'm making it trivial, but what I'm trying to say is, like, even if you think about that, when you've watched a scary movie and you felt that stress, right? Imagine that tenfold now. And it's maybe a real life situation and really started to distort your own view of yourself or the world. 100%. That's when we're starting to think about trauma.
Yes.
That's how I make a small differentiation, because I know we don't have a actual definition really, and it's all a very subjective thing. But for me, it's like, has it changed your sense of safety within the world? Has it changed your sense of self? In relationships, or physically, whatever it is, then it's trauma. It's traumatic.
But I think what's also important is we have to remember that trauma is a response. So we have to think about the trigger, which is the traumatic event. And I think sometimes people forget to discuss that bit. Like, so even when we think about the DSM-5, they are very particular with what they view as a traumatic event. It's quite rigid. So they see it as exposure to actual or threatened death, serious injury, or sexual violence. That is quite limited when you think about it. When you're saying that a traumatic event has to be within those three domains: death, serious injury, or sexual violence. A lot of people will say that then negates things like the isms that are traumatic. So the DSM-5's obviously been kind of queried for that rigid element of it, which is why often people use the ICD-11's idea of a traumatic event, which is just exposure to an extremely threatening or horrific event or series of events. I think that allows you to bring, it feels more broad, so it allows you to bring other things that could potentially be traumatic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think also as well, there's something about, because we're talking about the academic,
Yeah.
like the clinical, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's just real life in general
yeah,
in terms of
yeah,
what
yeah.
we validate, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
at the same time, these like books, like, you know, ICD, DSM, sorry, and our profession in itself is built on a historical context which did not think about us.
Oh, facts.
And I keep that, even though I have the title, even though I practice as a
facts,
psychologist and all of things, I keep it, like, I know where the history it lies, right? And I'm not blind to that. So when we're thinking about validation of your experience, when I'm working with someone, I'm telling you, like, it doesn't only have to be this. I need to use this criteria, and it is useful. I'm not going to say it's not. It is useful. However, what are we validating as a traumatic thing? And that as well is going to change over time. The things that our parents accepted as trauma versus our grandparents versus us, different things altogether.
Yeah, facts.
Different things altogether. They didn't have. They'd be like, "What's that?
Yeah, facts.
Oh, what, you got upset because broke up? What's that?" Do you know what I mean? They didn't. They were surviving, survival mode kind of thing.
That's a good point in terms of if they were surviving, then thinking about what they passed on in terms of that survival
Yeah.
to our generation, for example, in terms of parenting practices. That's what I'm really curious about, especially when we think about our community and typical, the cliche relationship to help. What does that really look like? If we were so distrustful of these systems from all the way back then, right? It hasn't changed. And we're continuing to pass these things on. So in one sense, we're saying, are our black men being heard? But actually, do we feel safe enough to even voice what's going on for us?
Word. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You need sound effects like du-du-du-du. That was serious still. That's
No,
serious.
it's a big one. Like and again, like, it's so deep, right? Because when you're saying like what's been passed on, firstly, on a biological level, epigenetics. I always talk about epigenetics, and epigenetics is basically this idea that the way in which our kind of DNA is programmed can change based on what we experience in the environment, specifically when we're in the womb, right? So if your mum is stressed, high levels of cortisol, stress hormones, your nervous system is basically being wired to say, when we get outside there, it's mad. So be ready for it to be mad, right? So that's being passed on, right? If you think about like your parents or grandparents and before being in really stressful situations, that's been passed on. Cool, we're already wired. Then we have come into a world in which it's been designed in a way to put us in situations that are not helpful for any human being. Any human being. You were talking about growing up in and right? Those the fact that it's so grey.
Yeah.
In itself. No colour.
No green spaces.
No green spaces. Like that everyone's packed up on each other like sardines, pack up. Like all of those things aren't good for human beings, full stop. So think about that en masse in a community, right? Now think about what you were just saying about like parenting. I've got to think about this, my job, these kids, my relationship, my family back home, whatever. I don't have the headspace to sit down and do gentle parenting with you.
Facts.
It's true.
Yeah.
I ain't got no time to do gentle parenting.
No, facts.
Like, I will box you and then we'll keep it moving.
Facts.
And then we get taught, oh, that's how you communicate with people.
Yeah. Facts.
I bet that's what I'm going to do. Then you go into all your different relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, even with your own children. That's now in your head. This is what I must do.
Facts.
Cycles of trauma, guys.
Yeah. Facts.
It's crazy. It's deep.
It's very deep.
It's very deep. How would we then... first of all, I guess it's important for us to make sure that people have something to leave with, right? So one, I guess it's about signs. What kind of things can people look out in themselves? Or again, we've been talking about men. What could they be looking out for in men to say that actually, no, I think something's going on here?
In terms of trauma responses.
Yeah.
So one of the criteria within the PTSD diagnosis is a list of trauma responses that I think are quite common. So I would watch out for those ones. This is where we're thinking about sleep disturbances, so people really struggling to fall asleep, stay asleep. We're thinking about poor concentration. We're thinking about irritability and angry outbursts that just feel like they come out randomly. We're thinking about the hypervigilance where people are, and I guess you can see somebody being hypervigilant because you might be talking to them and they're very distracted. They're looking around trying to see where potential threats might be. And you can visually see that play out through somebody just not engaging. I would say and maybe reckless behaviours. So if you see loved ones engaging in what we might call self-destructive or reckless behaviors, and that might be just like the substance use or the and it's not even just substance use, excessive substance use, because people might drink, people might take drugs, whatever it might be, but it's the excessive nature of it that might then become a bit reckless and a self-destructive element to it.
So it's quite a bit to say about like excessiveness, because I think people can think about it in different ways, right?
Oh, that's a good
So that
point.
could be like continuously using it, so like having to use things like every single day or like most days a week. But it could also be, even if it is like a little bit more spaced out, when you do use it, you're going
you're going heavy
right.
still.
So it's not just like
it's a good
constantly
point.
using it. It could be like being excessive in that one time as well.
Very good point. So for me, those would be the immediate telltales. And then the other stuff that we've spoken about, like avoidance, those intrusive memories, those are all still trauma responses. But they might be harder to see than the actual behaviours that I've mentioned.
Do you have any?
I think mine's more so of a question in terms of the pattern that we're speaking about. So if a generation of our men have learnt, for example, hide our pain in a sense, what would be like healing for the next generation of men? What would be our advice?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's such a good one.
I think that's a difficult question because for me, it's always located within the structures that are around us.
Yeah.
So unless those structures change, men will continue to hide their pain because they will never feel safe to bring it up.
Word. And it kind of is linked to the one that I had. You know what my immediate word that came into my head? Love. Right? Bell Hooks talks about love in her book, all about love. And it isn't in the just in the romantic sense. She talks about love as like a structural, intentional thing, right? So obviously between each other, guys, can we be nice to each other, please? No, like not on a real, like I know it sounds, but like, can we just extend more grace to each other, more empathy? And again, I know that there must be boundaries, and I know that obviously if you're in abusive situations, please don't listen, don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying to stay in those situations. But is there a place where we can extend love and grace and compassion to each other as much as possible? That can do something very powerful, like between people. But I also agree that when we're thinking about love and care, that has to be in place in structures. Like the people that look after us, the government, they need to be putting in things in place that show that they care, that meet our basic needs. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Have you got food and shelter? And some people don't have food or shelter. And I think that shows a lack of care when there's things in place to actively mean that people can't access those things. So when I say love, it's a catch-all phrase for like interpersonally between people, but also structurally.
I like that. And even with the interpersonal between people, there has to be something around how those people in the black man's immediate vicinity, how they allow the black man to show love. I can't be on that and my dons are laughing at me. I'm not going to want to open up again. Do you know what I mean? So like, there's levels to it.
I really like that, because when I was thinking of the question, I was thinking of actually the difficulty to the structure, as you said. But I really liked what you said. It does actually, if we think about the people immediately who are around us, can they work on actually allowing you to be that new chapter, that new season, that new generation of men that we need?
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good point. Yeah, because also as well, if you're doing that and then the people around you aren't there yet because they're going through their own thing, if you start to feel like, okay, I'm going to lose my people, you might be less inclined to continue doing that, right? Because you're like, I still need to stay with my people.
100%. Yeah. It's a difficult one.
It is difficult.
There's a lot of love, just not like, and again, with the population I work with who tend to be young people caught up in community violence, I'll be honest, these are young boys, young men who've stabbed people, been stabbed, shot people, been shot at. And I often talk about my work is tough love because I have to hold them accountable for the things they've done to other people. But it's still an understanding that you were failed. And how can I show you love as a black man where you might not be used to receiving love from a black man? Like my work becomes even more powerful because I understand that visually I am the threat that they're hiding from. They're usually hiding from other black boys and other black men. And obviously I represent that. So how do I role model what it can be like to show care and love as a black man? So forget I'm a doctor, forget I'm a psychologist. I'm a black man first and foremost. How do we connect on that level so you can see that black men are capable of showing love?
It's powerful.
No,
That's
it is.
powerful.
It is.
especially see someone in that position, helping position. I know you mentioned earlier about, because a lot of time in our communities wrapping football like in terms of the vehicles to escape. Right? So actually to see someone in like a 9 to 5 or in a position in an NHS system that we learn not to trust and go to for help. It's like, hold on, wait. Dr. Ron.
Yeah.
No, but for real, like Dr. Ron. You know, that must be so powerful. So I know we're talking about structures, but actually we are a part of that, like changing.
100%.
100%.
You know?
100%. And I think we can all take an active role in those things as well. And again, do what you can with what you have whilst you work towards the things that you want, right? So if right now you can't do the big gestures and all those things, it's okay. It's okay. And I have to tell, because I think people get caught up in like giving the most grandest gestures or being able to do the most to help people. Do the small thing. Ask again when someone says, I'm okay.
Yes.
Facts.
Ask again.
Facts.
That's the smallest possible thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
Like pause for a minute and be like, actually, have I phoned that friend?
Yeah.
Have I given them that space to like really talk about things? And again, I mean, I'm not a man, but I guess within your friendships and stuff, it's like having to really say, bro, are you okay? Like, I'm not going to laugh. Like, I'm not going to bore you. I'm not going to banter. Like, are you good?
How do you and your boys manage that out of interest?
Hey, I mean, they watch this. I'll be the one in the group for like check-in kind of thing with the guys. But typically it is it's a very, what's the word? Surface level, all good kind of thing. Even when we meet up, it's like a big group setting.
How many of you?
We have like a group of 12, 13.
Wow.
So a lot of us at school.
Yeah.
So now sometimes what we do is actually we meet up in smaller groups and you can really rap with each other. Actually see what's going on. Not just masked by the music. No, let's actually talk, listen to each other, have a meal, see what's going on. Then you realize people have been going through a lot. A lot. But when it's the boys, sometimes they use it as escape as well.
Yeah, facts.
It's an escape. You're laughing, you're reminiscing and this and that. So when you ask, how's things really going? They don't necessarily want to, this is my safe sanctuary. I can forget about all these things. It's a hard balance.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think the black men are struggling. People don't know, man. So like I think there's less of us in our WhatsApp group, maybe about 8 of us. Again, from secondary school. One I've known since primary school, to be fair, a very long time. We've got better because the older we've got, we've had people lose parents. So it's almost had to evoke, like there's been quite major events that have forced us somewhat to actually talk about this stuff a bit more. But it hasn't been easy. Like there are still times when I know my guys hold back from wanting to kind of say what's on their minds or what they're going through because they don't want to be the Debbie Downer of the group. They don't want to, that's what they're perceiving. Actually, they're going to bring the energy down. And actually, like, we're all like, bro, we're all here. Like, we need to, life is lifing. Like, we all just need to be there for each other. So I think we're getting better at it, but we're not where I think we should be as a group. 100%.
Yeah. I think it's like one step at a time, isn't it?
Chisel away.
Chisel away.
Yeah, you got to chisel away. But I guess I'm thinking about, we're at a crucial age now where we're thinking about having our own kids. So, and some of my guys have their own kids. So we're thinking about how do we get this right? So we're not thinking about, we're not passing it down. These unhelpful ways to process your emotions. Loads to think about, man. Parenting is long. It's actually long.
And I feel like we think about way more things than our parents did. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like,
even watching like, obviously like my parents and then my grandparents and then my grandparents getting older and having to look after them. I don't think my parents thought about that until like now. Whereas now I'm already like, Mum, Dad, are you not going to the gym? Are you doing this? Are you doing? Because I'm already preempting that you need to age and I'm going to have to take responsibilities for you.
That's very forward thinking of you there. Well played.
Thank you.
Because I know loads of people our age aren't probably thinking that at all.
This is all the things that you guys are thinking about, like becoming parents, what do you want to pass down? How are you going to manage emotions differently to how you used to? All of these things. The answer is community, guys.
This is why Black Boy Joy. I was watching a video quite recently of just these 3 black guys just dancing, and I can't stress the joy it filled my heart. There's something as a black man just seeing other black men happy.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds really like soppy and cliche, but when I see a black man happy, it fills me with so much joy because I know the struggles and pains they've had to endure for a long period of time. So when I see that smile, I'm like, I'm smiling, man. I love it. I actually love it.
Yeah, man, I'm here for it. This is why even when the Arsenal stuff was happening in the football, I wasn't
You're going a
against
bit
it.
too far now.
No, I wasn't against.
Those borders.
You're going too far.
Oh no, you're not Arsenal fans.
You're going too
Okay, when a football team wins, yeah, when I see them celebrating, I'm like, you know what, have your thing, man. It's cute.
I hear it.
If all you're
them,
doing
man.
is laughing and all that, oh,
I heard it for them, man.
you know what? You know, like the World Cup.
You strategic war red, yeah? Is that the reason why?
Oh, because
you're
no,
giving us
I
strategic.
know nothing.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Referencing Arsenal. You know what you're doing.
It's like the World Cup now. You can back.
Beep that out, man. Beep that out. Oh, goodness.
Okay, so if we were to think about, this bit, everyone has something to take away, I guess. My thing for everyone to take away is just a little bit of love. Like, it can go a long way. What's going to be your takeaway things with people?
I'm going to try and connect mine to your love.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to say connection. When we think about trauma, when we think about PTSD, they all happen in isolation. So for me, healing has to be about the relationship and connection. So how can you be there for somebody? It's not about coming with the right words. You're not there to try and fix anything. Just be consistent. Like, just listen, validate, normalize.
Yeah.
Just connect.
I think mine's will be something to do with not blaming yourself for your current ways of, for example, responding to things. So love, connection, and I'll say awareness, the patterns that you now embody, and thinking about how you can be the change for the next generation. So love, connection, awareness.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Thank you. Should we go on to our debrief?
Yes, we should.
Okay. Welcome to the debrief, guys. This is the part of the show when we are reacting to something that's current, trending, and we give our perspective on what is happening. So we've got a video to show. I'm going to give a bit of a trigger warning for this because it's around the kind of situation in Belfast and what's been happening. So yeah, there's a trigger warning around violence.
Homes and buses were burned in a night of unrest in Belfast as hundreds of masked protesters took to the streets following the arrest of a Sudanese migrant over a brutal knife attack. The outright thuggery has been condemned by Northern Ireland's First Minister, who added that groups of masked men burning people out of their homes is nothing less than disgusting cowardice. Protesters were said to be targeting HMOs, where multiple people lived in a shared property, which some claim are being used to house migrants at taxpayers' expense. The unrest, which was spurred on by far-right agitator Tommy Robinson and ex-owner Elon Musk, came in direct response to a horrific stabbing the night before. A Sudanese migrant has been charged with attempted murder after a man named locally as Stephen Ogilvie suffered knife wounds to his face, neck, and back. It's believed the suspect legally crossed from the Republic of Ireland to Northern Ireland 3 years ago.
So that's just a bit about what's been happening in Belfast. That they said there was a really horrific video going around showing that there was a stabbing happening in Belfast, and it's escalated. There's riots, there's civil unrest, and then obviously a lot of politicians and Elon Musk are kind of commenting on it and getting.
He loves it.
He loves it.
Yeah, she
Have you not
does.
seen him on X? He loves it. He actually loves it.
What, getting involved in all these things? Yeah.
British politics. He loves it.
It's it's a sad situation, and I guess as well. I guess for us as well. It's important to say that we're here to think a little bit about kind of the things around it and what's been happening. And I guess what I'm seeing here are, firstly, a horrific crime and a horrific situation that people have seen. And we've just been talking about trauma and how you can be traumatized by seeing something, right? So people have seen these things. It's happened in their city, right? That's where they're from. Understandably very angry, but where the anger has gone is very interesting to me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about it?
Agreed. I like that connection though, because I guess we know that anger is a trauma response, and not many people speak enough about the fact that we're all walking around with phones in our pockets, which is the closest vehicle we have to regular exposure to a traumatic event. We are constantly seeing traumatic events on our phone.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful I didn't see that video. A lot of people clearly have.
Yeah.
And we're not thinking about how that in itself will elicit trauma or could elicit trauma by virtue of just that exposure to what they're seeing through their phone. I'm quite curious about even just how the media have narrated this whole story. I find quite fascinating. So when I think about the macro system levels like the media and their role in trickling information down to the likes of Tommy Robinson or Farad or Elon Musk, who then use their status and their power to somewhat tweak the narrative or the rhetoric to incite anger and hatred. So at a macro system level, you can already see how the media is also feeding into that.
And this has been going on for days, this riots and what's going on, isn't it? I think it's the classic
us versus them, as you say. In terms of the information when it's trickling down, I think one of the things straight away was like illegal. These big boys that come. Right? So straight away, people kind of rally and threat response. It's a threat. Hold on, this is something that's happened within their community. And now it's like, hold on, not we're under attack, but it's a threat. So we're going back to this us versus them, the immigration, jobs, all these things, right? So now they're the victims in a sense. And they're going to these groups. They're not getting lost, but it's this herd mentality.
No, yeah, it's classic in-group, out-group, right? And I think what's happened is because of historical issues, right? People are not feeling safe. If we're thinking where we're at politically, economically, right now there's a lot of uncertainty. And I feel like this uncertainty goes back to Brexit. I'm blaming Brexit. When was that? All of I can't remember, but it was early 2010s, right?
Oh wow.
About 2010s. I think that's when we started to get this like bubbling of unsafety around our sense of identity, economically as well. And I think it's just gone on and on and on. A lot of people would say it was COVID, but I think it was even before then. And COVID and all these other things have exacerbated people's sense of unsafety. And when people don't feel safe in their sense of identity, when they don't feel like they're going to be able to make money or survive or have housing, etc., what are they going to do? We're going to go to in-group, out-group dynamics. And I think that is what's been happening, especially because obviously we know that this was the perpetrator in this situation is a person from another country.
Irrational thinking's gone out the window. Like, we obviously know, like, when people are in their threat response, their ability to mentalize, their ability to think rationally goes out the window. Because I'm thinking, you've lighted up a yard. Are you even thinking somebody might be in the yard and could die? Like, has your mind even gone to that? It's wild. It's actually wild.
It's actually fascinating when you think about it like that, because people are now going to these groups and of course everyone's masked, so you can't see faces. So it's really whatever this group is on is what we're doing. So as you said, houses, what's it called?
The HMOs.
People's stores, people who are just literally going to work were getting targeted. Nothing to do with the tragic event that happened. However, this threat, rational thinking, gone. Now they're just, everyone can get it.
I
just want to think about just opportunists. Like, now anyone can get it. Actually doesn't make any sense. Like, if there's been a unique incident has occurred, why does this now impact everybody? But again, it probably goes back to your point that this stuff was just boiling under the surface, then any kind of critical incident just sparks it all off.
Absolutely. It's an absolute trigger to some things that are deeper than, and this is, again, I think it's horrific. I think the actual incident, horrific, shouldn't happen. I also think what's happening in response to it, absolutely horrific. I think there's a deeper sense of insecurity within people day to day these days that means that all of this stuff can be triggered very easily. And it doesn't even have to be something as horrific as what that was. Very easily, all of this stuff could be triggered. Sorry. I also think that I can't help but notice there was a lot of men that I noticed in the video, right? In response to, like, you know, doing all this violence. And I'm not saying that the women aren't also really angry because something horrific has happened and traumatic has happened in their community. I'm just curious about, okay, what is happening with men that is triggering this level of violence that we're seeing? Because this is really violent. All of it is very violent.
Fascinating. Say more though. What do you mean? I feel like it's a loaded question, but I'm trying to understand the load.
Okay. I do think, like I said, there's a level of uncertainty with humans, full stop, around the world right now. We're in a time in which we're seeing, so like you said, social media and trauma kind of farming basically going on and on and on. I absolutely think that's happening everywhere with everyone, right? But I can't pretend that there won't be differences in how it's expressed between men and women.
I hear it.
Right? So we're going to be unsettled as women in a certain way, and that's going to play out in a certain way because of how we're socialized, and vice versa. It's going to be played out in a certain way with men as well. Is this level of violence that we're seeing in response a way in which there's a level of socialization that's happening that's meant that this can run?
Agreed. Yeah, but I also think it feeds into the deeper insecurities that you mentioned before. Like, it's easy to become a member of these mass groups if you struggle with a sense of belonging. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're around people and you might not even necessarily agree with what they've done, but the fact that there is a level of connection and belonging might be why some people might even be there to begin with. Because I don't want to believe, I don't know, if it's a group of 10 people, all 10 are like, yeah, let's burn down this yard. I don't care who's in that yard. Yeah. I would like to think maybe one at least is thinking, right, this is a bit mad, but I can't say anything. So I think there's something about some of those deeper insecurities that probably feed into the level of the violence that we are seeing and people's just attachment to it.
I think it's really important for people to, as audience-wise, in terms of understanding these group effects. Because as you said, if it was a smaller group of 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, for example, when you can actually take responsibility and accountability, some of these things are not happening. They're not happening. They could think these things, but to actually action heinous things that's happening, it won't happen. Like, these group effects are so strong. So strong. You know, where people's, I don't even know if we call it moral compass, it is not there. It is out the house. It's out the window. You know. So I think it didn't go back to the de-individuation. Is that what they call it in psychology? To do with like responsibilities in group effects.
Oh, when you're trying to you become almost like an anonymous participant in what's happening. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. It's scary to look at. It's actually scary to look at. I know the public look at it and be like, oh, it's another riot or whatever it is. But some of these people can be your local in the Greg's shop working.
Facts.
Just hi to you every morning.
Facts.
You wouldn't believe this person is now in these groups.
I also think there's something about control though. I think a lot of men, and I guess I'm basing this on my experiences, don't feel like they have a level of control over things. So I think violence is actually a form of control. People enact violence to gain something because actually they've probably felt a huge loss of agency and control in various aspects of their life, where this becomes, I'm in control here. I'm going to burn this yard. I'm going to cause damage and havoc. So I think there might be something around people trying to claim a sense of power and control through very heinous acts, as you mentioned.
Absolutely. Because we always say that anger is like a secondary emotion. And when we say secondary emotion, we're thinking about how underneath that emotion that we're seeing on the top is something else. And like you're saying, it could be a loss of control. It's hurt. It's deep disappointment. And again, we're seeing the surface level of anger, but there's something deeper happening. 100%. There's something deeper happening. 100%. And I think that's what people are trying to claim back. Like they're meeting a need. It's an unmet need, isn't it? It's like, I need some control. I'm going to do this thing. Bam. done. And if you, in the moment, you feel like you've got it.
100% in the
You
moment.
absolutely. That's it's the same when you cuss someone out when they, you know, in road rage. You feel like, okay, I've got back to the. You're in the same position in the traffic. To be honest, So it's the similar thing. Like in the moment, you feel like you got your get back, but actually over time you'll realize that this stuff that we're seeing, like I said, has been predated to now and will continue, which is why I think it's very interesting that the people that are kind of in control of what will happen going forward have a particular stance on this. Nigel Farage, like Tommy Robinson, right? And again, they have a sense of loss of control over what's been happening in their country, and they're enforcing policies that they think will give back control, but just perpetuate in-group, out-group, which again is a very binary way of thinking and doesn't hold up in any of the research or stats around kind of jobs and employment, doesn't hold up around levels of crime as well, and like proportionally what people are perpetuating. So it's like, okay, while we're all in threat mode, while we're all panicking, we can lean on this really binary, like black and white type of thinking. And it works. It gets the people going, clearly.
Agreed. This is why I think Nigel Farage is very good at what he does. Like, I have to give him his, it sounds crazy, but I have to give him his plaudits because he has been able to get a demographic on side that has been seeking. So when we think about attachment, we think about like schemas and unmet needs. He has met a group that are longing for something and he's given them something. So this is where I actually think we need to be careful because reform is about to take over. Reform is actually about to take over because they are meeting people's needs, ultimately. The way that I don't think other political parties have done for a very long time. And even if reform can't do it, they're claiming they can. And that's enough for a lot of people.
And the media feeding it more and more. In terms of, you know, like moral panics, for example, you know, when something happens, I don't know, it could be something with football and racism, for example. And then for the next week or two, it's only stories to do with that. Now it is to do with immigrants, violence. It's just one after the next. And it's aligning with reform, you know?
Absolutely. And that's where the media and that kind of signaling happens, right? That's when you get that mass level of panic, moral panic, that mass level of fear. It's just fear, isn't it? It's fear. But it's crazy because I always think, okay, we can talk about the anger and what it is, and we can talk about the unmet needs and all those things, right? I'm not here to say that those things aren't valid. And I know that sounds, I don't want to sound like I'm almost backing what they're doing because I'm really not. It's just an explanation, not an excuse, right? Please don't hear what I'm not saying. But what I'm trying to think about then, if we understand this, right, what you would hope for the leaders is that they then channel it in a way that promotes more pro-social behavior. You can absolutely be angry that the people in your community are going through something. You can absolutely be angry that, I know children, you feel like children aren't getting the right education. You can absolutely be angry that like children are going hungry. I'm not saying you shouldn't be. How do we take that anger and use it in a productive way?
Agreed.
That's what I think needs to be thought about. Yeah,
I agreed. But the I've got a very difficult relationship with politicians because I think on the one hand, I'm quite cynical where I think a lot of them like inciting violence. They like what's going on because it will feed into their own personal agendas that they might be trying to achieve. I think at a bit more optimistic lens, I think there needs to be more psychologists in politics. I actually think there needs to be more psychologists in politics because we can talk about this till the cows come home. But unless we are in the ears of those in powerful positions, we're going to see the stupidness that they're going to get up to because I don't think many of them know any better. I actually don't think they do. And I think I'm not going to say, well, the be all and end all. I've got lots of issues with clinical psychologists, but I think we bring a lot of value to the table, and I can see already how we would bring value to politics massively. So why aren't we in those spaces? But again, when we go back to training, we're not really thought to be in those spaces. It's always NHS. Which is, I was going to say it isn't a bad thing. It is a bad thing. It absolutely is a bad thing. Because we have by virtue of our training, all of this understanding, all of this knowledge around social injustices. But what are we doing to use it? Do you know what I mean?
Keep it a little.
So let's create a political party. You know what's funny though? It's been on my mind. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
It's actually been on my mind.
We'll talk about that another time. Yeah. I want to see what that would look like. But
Yeah, that I derailed that real quick.
How do we get there?
But I guess like this is what we're doing here, right? Is to think about, okay, like, with people listening, okay, cool. How can they think about these things? Because again, if I'm watching this from my lens, I'm a black woman, terrified. That's terrifying. Again, it's a horrific thing that started it, but horrific and terrifying response to it as well. Because now I've also been kind of like potentially plugged in with this person that's done this really horrific thing. And again, that's the level of groupthink, isn't it? Like bringing us all together. So how do we manage that kind of level of threat that's happened? Because again, if we now feel threatened in response, also there can be tension and anger and violence. Do you know what I mean? I'm very conscious of that.
I agree with I'm thinking like back to the words we all chose, and your word of awareness is springing up to mind. There's something around how we need to be aware of the possible biases and stereotypes that might come up for us as individuals as a response to watching that. So like you might find people moving mad around Sudanese people now because they know it was a Sudanese man. So like I just think people have to be mindful of how when they watch these videos, how it might impact their actual day-to-day reality and how they respond to people.
Yeah, I hear that. But then there's a level of I get funny when I have these conversations, right? Because I'm going somewhere with this, guys. I'm going somewhere, don't worry. I often have conversations around, again, being hypervigilant. So hypervigilant and worried about, say, like police, right? For example. But there's a valid reason for your hypervigilance. Do you know what I mean? It can come from nowhere. So I think it's important, for you to be aware and kind of comfort yourself and attend to that anxiety. But there is a level of anxiety that's going to be rational in response to it, isn't there?
100%. Again, going back to hypervigilance, it's just about detecting threats. But the reason you're doing that is for survival and self-preservation. So if you, again, if I can link it back to the media, if you have the media trickling certain narratives down to you, sometimes you can't help what you're going to be absorbing at a macrosystem level. So you might get into your head, Sudanese people might kill me. We can actually laugh about it and think that's ridiculous. But if that is the narrative you're constantly absorbing, you're going to genuinely believe that Sudanese people might be able to hurt you. So when you come across, can you even tell somebody Sudanese? When you come across a black man, that fear response is going to be evoked. Completely.
100%.
Yeah.
Scary times, man. Scary times.
No, it is. It is. And again, all going back to those levels of trauma. Just constant exposure to trauma. It's it's concerning. It's concerning. And again, I think my thing around how do we deal with this? It comes back to the same thing. It comes back to like community, isn't it? It's community. Again, being able to notice that in these times when people are feeling uncertain, you are going to naturally, as humans, go to in-group, out-group. And you know what's really interesting, actually, about in-group and out-group and like your identity, it changes based on your context, your immediate environment, right? So in our room together, like us three, we might bond on the fact that we're like all black people, right? But then you two can bond on the fact that you're both men. So then I can automatically shift how I view you guys based on gender. Do you know what I mean? So things can change very quickly. Like this stuff happens really quickly. And we're talking about it like it's, again, very like black and white, but it's so complex and it's so intricate. Do you know what I mean? So even like going back to the video, thinking about Belfast, right? So people are going to connect together based on their identity from being there.
Yeah, it's true.
And then the people watching can easily identify with them as being maybe white or being men or whatever. But it could very much, at some point when they want to, the powers that be, they can very much make you guys be at odds with each other. Very much so. Like the tribal lines are so thin and they change so easily. And I think that's another thing I want people to be aware of, is that these things can change very quickly. So again, watch these things. I mean, stay informed if you feel like you can, because again, it's very horrific and it's very scary and it's very traumatizing. Be aware, but also just be conscious that these things can change really quickly. So be at one with yourself, I think is very important.
100%.
And also have your community around you.
Agreed. Because I think it's easy for us to think, oh yeah, that's far away from us. That's that's an island thing. That's not us. And even then, obviously the madness that happened in Southampton, so England. But I think sometimes as Londoners we think, nah, that can't happen to us. So I think you're right. Like, be aware and in a nice way, don't get too comfortable, because things can shift very, very quickly.
Very quickly.
With the rise of reform, I think reform's only in Kent. I think they got seats in like
Down the road, hon.
It's
They've
down
got seats.
the road. So I don't think we should be getting comfortable at all.
I think that's a good point you guys touched on, in terms of it seems like it's really far away, but we've seen on so many different occasions how things across the globe can impact us right here. So even as you speak about the Belfast thing, I don't know about you, Dr. Ron, but there's things that have happened in the past, and as a black man living in England, London, sometimes you can feel the tension when you're traveling certain places, and that hypervigilance that we speak about. I've felt that many times, but it's not something I go and speak about. I just like, it's almost like it's part and parcel. You get so used to it as a black man. For example, if I'm walking past a certain part of London and there's a pub, and there's a lot of, like, for example, a lot of men and a bit of rowdy, I'm like, oh, depending on what's happening politically, I'm like, oh, are they going to say something that's
I hear it.
out of touch? It's a real thing.
I hear it.
It's a real thing. And as you said, it changes based on the context where you are, what part of London you are.
Agreed.
All these things.
Just like Wandsworth versus Fulham versus...
It can change.
Yeah.
Half an hour down the road, yo,
Do you know what I mean?
I'm good. Right? It can change just like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
No, it's just, it's deep. But I think when you know the game, you clock the matrix, you can start to kind of read between the lines. Again, I guess what I'm thinking about is people's media literacy.
Like that.
Because you need to have discernment.
Yeah.
They need to report these things. People need to be aware of these things. But just have small discernment about you to sort of read between the lines or think a little bit about what's happening, because they can trigger in-group, out-group very,
critical
very
thinking.
quickly. Critical thinking is key.
But also don't assume that people can it's a skill. Critical thinking is a skill. So I think there need to be more spaces that just nurture people's ability to critically think. Otherwise you get stuck with seeing things and taking things at face value and then living your life in accordance with that, which I think a lot of people do. I don't know what people, and I might be being harsh here, who knows? But I do think thinking critically is a skill. And if we don't nurture that skill, then this is what we see. People only fixating on one particular narrative because they can't see between the lines.
Yeah. The danger of a single narrative. That's a TED talk.
Great TED talk.
Really
actually.
good TED talk. Yeah.
Take notes for that one still.
No, you need
it's
to
a
watch
really
that
good
one. It's about how a single, like whether you in yourself have a single story about who you are as a person, and more time we can have quite a negative story about ourselves. You kind of limit the other opportunities to think more widely about yourself and have create different opportunities for yourself. And those single narratives can come from family, it can come from media, from history, all of these things. When you have one story and you latch onto it, it can be a very dangerous thing. It can be. To
be fair, that is what we're seeing.
Yep.
Because I guess the TED Talk also thinks about how you apply that single narrative to other groups of people. I think she talks about coming to America?
Yeah, she moved to America.
Yeah, and having particular ideas around what it meant to be an American person, but also what they thought it meant to be a Nigerian woman or a Nigerian girl. Is she Nigerian? Made that up? No,
I know, I don't want to make up because I
can't
remember now.
She's not Nigerian. She's not, I can't remember where she's from in Africa. But this is the world we live in terms of the danger of a single story.
Yeah.
So like when we think about the immigrant narrative and label, that is the story that's applied to lots of ethnic minorities generally. And that narrative has stuck for years. I mean, when we think about Brexit, you said that was ages ago.
Yeah, when you said
That
like-
has-
It's like 2010s,
I
yeah.
can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that narrative has stuck for a particular group of people for a very long time. And with the work I do, I'm always talking about part of my role is reframing the narratives that exist around black boys and black men. Because the narrative, the danger of the single story around them has always been gangs. Gangs. And that has followed them into very insidious environments where once that label is applied to them, it limits their opportunities.
Yeah.
They might go to prison. Joint enterprise when it was a thing. Loads of people were being impacted by the term gang within joint enterprise. So they weren't even present at crimes, but still went to jail.
Jail.
So the danger of a single story has been around. But again, you're right about there needs to be some discernment there.
Yeah, it needs to be discernment. The thing I tell people when I'm having these kind of conversations, clients and stuff, remember that single story, more time it's shame or something like that. That's not your voice. It's actually not your voice. It sounds like you, but it's not your voice. It is family. It is culture expectation. It is the media. So again, when we're thinking about these things and people thinking about how to respond, know that this fear, although some of it is valid and obviously there's a level of self-protection that's needed, I'm not saying that, but the level of it is not your voice. Someone's conditioned that in there. Yeah.
Facts.
Any final takeaways? What would your takeaway be?
About the video.
About the video, Your final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I'm going back to your word of love. I think everyone's doing really great words today, you know. All of this gets addressed with love. Love thy neighbour, man. Serious.
It's written in the good
It's
book.
so serious. We don't love each other anymore. And I guess there are various systems that probably feed off the fact that we don't love each other.
Yes.
But we as a community, and it kept bringing up the word community, we as a community need to just create this love amongst ourselves. Because if we don't, nothing will actually change.
Word.
Nothing will change.
Words. Yeah, I think that's a word. That's going to be my response as well. That I think as a community, and if we want to think about how there is going to be rising tensions, there is rising tensions, I think we need love within our community. And again, like I said before, that's the actual emotion, love and sharing it with each other. But that's structural as well. Guys, invest in each other. Like financially invest in each other, emotionally invest in each other, physically invest in each other. Come together and have partners. You know, we don't
Do partners actually happen anymore?
I don't think it happen anymore.
It's fascinating.
I don't think partners happen. But
How you bring up partners?
people do partners.
Wow. But it's sad that feels like a blast from the past because it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Still.
All of those things. Have like groups, come together with your boys, talk about fatherhood, talk about community, talk about, again, relationships with each other, being healthy, talk about your physical health, like all of these things I think are like the building blocks for community. We don't have rituals, you know what deep tip? We don't have any coming of age like rituals that I know of. So I think South America, quinceañera.
Yeah, that's
You see,
really
yeah.
powerful actually.
Quinceañera, obviously I know there's obviously going to be old and ancestral things as well about like becoming a man or becoming a woman, and we can argue whether those practices were always helpful. But I just mean there's no kind of stewardship, into the next part of your life, right? I think what we do is we demonize our kind of aging. We should be knowing that we're going to go into older age and we're going to be revered for our wisdom, but we also know we have a responsibility to our youngest community, right? We should go into adulthood knowing that there's a sense of responsibility for something. You should be a child and have the opportunity to learn these things and grow and know who you are as a person. Do you know what I mean? I think we should have rituals. I think we should have ideas of who we are as people and how we all function together. Again, emotionally, relationally, but also structurally. What is your role and how is it helpful and supportive and not harmful? That's my thing.
Wow.
I like that. It exists though, but just not here. or Western cultures, would you say?
Fascinating.
I might have to look into that one. But yeah, no.
Especially that stewardship and kind of, for example, the older generation kind of taking accountability and guiding. I think that does exist in some cultures. It's just here we are against one another. Our brothers and sisters are against one another, and it's due to your postcode and things like that. Obviously, there's more structural elements to it, of course. But when you think about it, if we strip all these things back and like go back to some of the countries of our ancestors, and it's just so much love.
Yeah, man.
It comes back to it.
Yeah.
So much love.
Yeah, Bell Hooks was onto something.
Yeah.
She was onto something.
I have to think to myself, I don't know if you lot do it, like daydream, like what would my life be like if I was not born in the UK or the Western world? Like if I was born in Ghana, like what would my life actually be like? But I guess I'm saying it more so in terms of connection to people, this idea of the village, even love. Would I be a different person when it comes to love? Oh yeah, I daydream a lot.
I love that.
So I wasn't born here.
Okay.
So I was born in Trinidad.
Come on now.
Okay.
So strong community vibes, real strong.
Yeah.
So the auntie opposite that would look after you is no actual auntie. She's just your neighbor.
Yeah.
But your neighbor is so important to your
yeah.
family system.
Facts.
Those things are normal, and your family name holds weight.
Yeah.
You know, people can actually track down. Honestly, my stepmom, she could be like, "Where's this person from? Tell me the last name," and she can go back generation.
That's insane. Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Just by the last name, and she'll be like, "Oh, that's from down the road over there." People are held accountable for things like that. Your last name, the person that lives down the road opposite you, it means something still.
Yeah. I like that. Hold accountable. Like your name meant something.
It meant something.
Yeah. And again, I think a lot of people's issues that we see, like whether it's anxiety, depression, trauma, all of these things, there's a loss of like a sense of meaning and belonging somewhere when you dig. Yeah. Well, how do we give that to our community from the get-go? How do people have a sense of purpose and belonging? Your name means something. Lift up your chest and walk with because your name means something. Do you know what I mean? Like that's so important. That's mental health intervention right there.
I'm gonna throw a spanner. You lot can include this or not. I have an Asian friend, and we were recently talking about community. And he asked me, and I couldn't answer it, so I'm intrigued if you can. Where is there a community in London that is just black people thriving?
Listen, I've been saying this.
I couldn't answer it.
So wait,
He was talking about Asian people thriving in terms of particular communities. In terms of like ownership, or just even maybe not even ownership, but just being in a community where every person of that demographic is comfortable. And I was like, I don't actually know. I guess I'm posing the question because you two might. I don't know.
No.
So for example, we talk about certain areas where like the whole street is a certain demographic and everyone owns businesses. Is that where you're?
Yeah.
No, I can't think.
No, because if you think America, I automatically go to like Houston and Atlanta.
America has it.
Yeah, they automatically have it. We don't have it.
I was like, rah.
No,
That's a good. No,
that's mental. Do you know how mental that is?
Yes.
For how long we've been here as well, mental.
good point.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental.
And even in the areas where we might populate, it's not us owning,
And that's
it's
it.
us working in.
So when we talk about community, other demographics have been doing community. They've been actually doing it because they have the structural setup to do it. We don't.
No, we don't.
And it's so sad. We don't.
Yeah, I always say to my friends, guys, where are we moving to? You know how everyone is now getting to a place where we've got a bit of money, we've got a bit of money, and we're gonna buy. Guys, team meeting. Team meeting. Where are we moving to?
I hear it. I actually hear it.
This is really important, you know.
It is.
Because if I have a child now and I'm running late to pick them up, babe, I'm running late. Can you just go pick up Timmy?
I was waiting to see what name. And you landed on Timmy. I rate it. You know what? Let's go Timmy then.
Yeah, it's Timmy time. But we need that, innit?
Yeah.
All of those things are important.
100%.
All of those things are important.
Which will probably then feed into the everyday interaction of love you will have because you're surrounded by community, your village.
Great.
It becomes easier for you to feel that sense of love.
Absolutely, man.
We've got work to do, man. We've got work to do. Serious work.
Serious work to do. It's a serious
So
job,
much steps
man.
we can take as simple as that. Simple as that. Because everyone moves out, but it moves to areas where...
And now I'm complaining I never see my friends. I could have just bought a fat house near yours. Ideally, everyone's in the same tax bracket. Ideally, you know, but in the immediate
but then you're
vicinity.
likely to become the only black in the village. So then you're already having to deal with that dynamic of you've leveled up, but you've leveled up in an area where there is no sense of community, possibly. You might not feel that sense because there's nobody that looks like you. And you don't even have access to the things that make you feel authentic and who you are anyway. This is why I can't leave London.
So level up together as a group.
Unless you level up as a group. And then we create our own black shops and I have all my products and I'm good.
Come on
My food is there, good.
All one street.
All one street.
Honestly.
Not south.
And the thing is, like, I think people should just start small. Like, just start off with one street. See if it's possible.
Yeah.
A few houses. So, like, where are we moving to is so powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah, man. Serious job. Serious. I don't know if we're keeping this.
I like it though.
No, we're off topic. But I was just
we'll
I was actually quite curious.
But no, I hear it.
Should we move on to the letters to the couch? All right. So we've got one here. Let me read it out for you guys. Hi. Just want to say I've enjoyed the episode so far and it's inspired me to even send this into the podcast. Keep up the great work. I'm a 30-year-old black male. I have a wife and 3 kids. Things looks great from the outside, but on the inside, I'm not happy. Over the last few years, it feels like my wife and I have drifted apart. She's been complaining more and has been calling out all of my faults and failings. I'm trying my best, but it's never good enough. I help with the kids and chores, but I always do it wrong in her eyes. That makes me angry, so instead of saying anything and lash out, I leave the home and spend hours away from the house. Sometimes I'm with friends, other times I'm alone. I come back home really late and then the cycle continues. Deep down, I don't feel good enough and I dislike that I'm not everything my wife needs. She doesn't know how I feel because I can't say it in fear of it being used as another shortcoming. I don't want to lose my family. What should be done to help fix this marriage? It sounds quite deep.
It's quite deep, isn't it? I actually, listening to it, I felt a bit sad for him, actually.
You know what? First and foremost, I want to thank him for that because it couldn't have been easy to pour your heart out like that. And he's been quite vulnerable. So you know what? No, big you up.
Yeah.
Especially as black men when we know
Yeah.
this is quite a hard thing to do anyway. He's done it. So I just want to big him up for that. First and foremost, 100%.
Real.
100%. Yeah, for sure. It's a big thing to do. But yeah, no, I felt quite sad for him, actually, because I think there's a lot of pain.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pain in there. And I guess, he's asking what should be done to help fix the marriage. Automatically, my head just goes to, one, there needs to be an open and vulnerable conversation with your wife. I think there's something to be said there.
I think there's something deep rooted as well. That kind of I'm not good enough, that inadequacy that he's feeling, that response, he's being triggered, right? His wife might be saying it in a way where it's like, I hate you or anything like that. It's just husband or partner, can you do these things? But how he's perceiving it and how he's taking it is, I'm inadequate, not good enough for my wife. These are quite heavy things.
Agreed.
If not spoken about and actually fleshed out, like, honey, this is how it's making me feel. What is it you want me to actually do, rather than me taking this on and saying I'm not a good enough man, potentially.
Yeah. I don't want to skirt over the most important bit that you just said around this is how I feel. Because for me, I'm just hearing issues around communication. So there's something around how, because I'm not even just locating it in him, how are both him and his wife communicating their needs or their lack of needs being met to one another. And this is often where people fall into the trap of arguments, because by using the wrong words, people then get defensive within the communication. You start an argument. So actually, you expressing how somebody's behaviors made you feel, you're owning your own feelings, and you're not judging the person, you're judging their behavior. So it just creates an easier conversation to have. So you just have to be quite strategic with how you say things. So yeah, I like that what you said about this is how it made me feel.
Because what's he doing currently? He's instead of actually expressing and using that emotional literacy, something you mentioned before, Dr. Amani, he's actually saying, I can't do this, or it's making me feel too vulnerable, right? I'm not allowed to do this potentially. And instead of the anger, so I think someone said before the anger comes, what's the hurt? What is actually there before that expression of emotion comes out? But he's not even getting to that point. It's like, I need to leave.
Yeah, the avoidance.
It's too much.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's something in terms of, would your wife, his perception, would my wife judge me in a certain way? Am I now weak? Am I lesser
Yeah.
because of a man, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Deep. There's a lot of things we can go down here.
There's a lot of it.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I want to know how old the kids are. He said over the last few years. So have you been having kids back to back over the last few years? Three children potentially over the last few years. So again, going back to the communication, what's the wife potentially going through with like having to, becoming a mother, you know, and how is that now being potentially communicated to you? And now you're receiving it as complaining, I'm falling short. There's actually a lot for them to unpack. There's a lot for them to talk about. Like, I think maybe even, after having the conversation with your wife and having the conversation about how you're feeling, there might be a room for some couples therapy if that's something they're interested in, or another external party, because not everyone wants to go to couples therapy. I don't know if they're in the church. Sometimes people want to go to like their pastor or something, but have a conversation. But I also think there needs to be a third party.
It's not going to be even one conversation.
No,
It's
not
going
one
to be
conversation.
multiple conversations that need to be had. I mean, when I heard it, I don't know why my mind went to like pop psychology and love languages. And I'm not even a fan of love languages like that. But I think there's utility in understanding how an individual needs love to be received and how in their own minds they think love should be given.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that could be quite helpful here, where he's spoken about kind of this leaving, and actually that might be what he needs, time to himself in order to process stuff. But his wife's perception of that might be, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he leaving? I might want to be talking about this situation, and he's just gone and done a runner. So like perception is so key here, and you won't ever understand what somebody's thinking unless you ask them. Unless you have that communication. So the love languages bit, I'm thinking more around how are you understanding your own needs and what needs to be met, but also mentalizing your wife to think about what her needs might be, and how are you meeting in the middle?
Yeah.
See that one there, the mentalizing. People really struggle with that, you know?
Yeah.
Facts.
We should explain what mentalizing is. Do you want me to do it? Okay. So mentalizing. Somebody else, look at you guys.
I was like, wait, if you can see what just happened there.
That was jokes. It's actually jokes.
Spider-Man. So mentalizing is basically the ability to have an idea about what another person might be thinking or feeling. And if you struggle to do that, you can, get really resentful. You can be very confused. You can be, it just causes a lot of problems, lack of empathy. There's so many things. So having an idea of what else someone else could be thinking outside of what you are thinking and feeling is very, very key in any relationship.
Vital.
Yeah.
When I work with fathers in particular, I use the three-legged stool analogy.
Yeah. I've come across this.
And actually, there might be different ways to approach it, but I guess I often think about them and their identity. And actually use a three-legged stool to kind of just use that as quite a helpful visual. But one of the legs is them as a father, one of the legs is them as a husband in this case, and the other one is them as an individual. What are they doing to nurture each leg? Because you don't want one leg being longer than the other, because it becomes problems. So I guess it sounds like he understands that his husband leg might be shorter than it needs to be. But I actually think I'm hearing him wanting to do something around that. But I'm also curious about if there are other legs that are shorter, because usually with fathers, priority is the kids, usually, which means that him as an individual, his own leg might not be getting nurtured. So there's something around, I guess what I'm saying is I want him to be balanced in his pursuit of extending his husband leg. I want to ensure that he's also extending the other leg so that they're all equal.
Yeah.
I
I guess is what I'm saying.
like that. I think I'm still also staying on the how he's feeling, so that communication, that dynamic, and actually, especially black men, we obviously usually stay away from that vulnerability, but that vulnerability in this situation can actually create that connection that they're needing, rather than, for example, avoiding it, which for him potentially has been helpful, but it's actually causing distance.
100%.
You know,
and I want to normalize couples therapy. I did it. I own it.
Yeah. As you should.
I think it was fantastic.
it's a great idea.
I think it was fantastic. And after having done it, I was like, more people need to actually run this, because yes, we're all doctors in the room, but I'm still a human being. So I know I still have shortcomings when it comes to relationships by virtue of my own upbringing and lack attachments. Like I know there are things there. So actually having that external person who didn't know me was actually quite useful for me. Really, really useful.
I like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think this might be one for couples therapy.
Absolutely.
Obviously a conversation, and like we said, when you have that conversation, use I statements. So when we say I statements, like you said, it's like I feel like this when this happens, instead of you are like this, because that's how you get into like blaming, and then that's how the person gets defensive. So it has to be when you're calmer. I'm not saying that people don't get a bit angsty when you're having these conversations, because sometimes, I don't know if you guys see, again, on social media, you know, there's a lot of relationship advice and stuff, and they're trying like play out, oh, this is how you can have a conversation with your partner, and it's all very like scripted, and I get it because they're trying to give people the words to be able to say these things, but it's not going to go like that, guys. When you watch these things, don't expect it to be smooth, but we're trying to give you at least a little something to make it smoother. It's still okay to feel a bit anxious. You just need to catch yourself as quickly as possible and bring yourself down to have a more productive conversation. So don't expect it to be completely smooth. You're still a human being. But use those I statements. I feel like this when this happens. I want to know what you think. Like what, when you say these things, I think this. Is that what you think? I need to know. And like, again, going back to the story, I like to tell people, like, to say this. The story I'm telling myself is, because again, don't get wrapped up in like thinking your thoughts are true. It's a story that you're telling yourself. So what is the story? The story I'm telling myself is that you don't rate me. And then you want to be like, of course I rate you. Actually, I'm just really stressed because we've got 3 kids and I'm used to things being this way, but I guess it's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be that way. Do you know what I mean? Like the conversation can go a completely different way if you just think about it like that. So I would say that have that conversation, check out some couples therapy.
And just be mindful of your behaviors as well, because you see you leaving as maybe escaping the situation. Your wife might be like, is my husband up to stuff? So like, it's like, you have to really like remember that your behavior can always be interpreted very differently to what you're actually doing. So just also be mindful of that. That again, going back to the needs that people have and how you're able to meet them.
And maybe make that first step then to even explain that. And again, if you find it too hard in the moment and you want to walk out, it might be a note like, I just need some time to calm down. I'm leaving and this is where I am. And you leave the notes.
I like that.
Just again, it just keeps some of the guessing out of it.
Because I imagine if I left my yard, my wife's gonna be like, what's wrong with this stuff?
There you go.
Like, where are you going? And I think you mentioned he's gone for time in some cases. I'll be honest, like, sometimes our minds wander. Even when we are in secure relationships, our mind will like, this is a bit weird. Like, how's my mind just left? Hasn't really told me where he's going. I think sometimes he said maybe he does. But I don't know if that's every case. But like, he has to mentalize, again, we've used that word. Just think about how your wife might respond to these behaviors.
I agree with all those. And trying to do these things just before that anger and that reaction, like you said, those behaviors start to come up, which is the hard bit.
Agreed.
Doing that pause before, you know, that prefrontal cortex, higher functioning is where we make decisions, guys, and think. Before that goes offline, can we do that? I'm feeling this way. Or just, I'm the story. What did you say? Sorry,
the story I'm telling myself is,
I really like that one. It really creates a distance. You to say that out loud before you actually act. So just giving you like a bit of a buffer. Before that PFC goes offline. So
the brain is not functioning and you're doing all sorts.
For hours on end. It's gonna be misconstrued. Absolutely. I didn't think about it like that.
Absolutely. Okay. So is that our answer to him? Have a conversation. Maybe check out some couples therapy.
Absolutely.
Checking on your like who you are as a father, individual.
Yeah, I think you need to look
husband.
after yourself because I guess the more you nurture yourself, the more you will bring to the relationships that you have. So I just want to also ensure that he's doing things for himself, positive things for himself, and actually, I mean, just for himself, because like, not buck your friends. Like, what do you like to do as an individual, and nurture it, and maybe that might have a positive impact on the other legs.
Yeah, I hear it. Okay. That's that. I think that was good. Hopefully, you know what? I kind of want to hear follow-ups to these. You know,
Yeah.
So these,
How can you not? Yeah, is it possible to?
yeah, they can follow us. So people, when they do the Letters to the Couch, they can email us at TLC at the new black. Black has an X instead of an A.com. And they can email us and give us a response as well. I would love a follow-up and just see if these things were helpful. And I also kind of want to hear the audience's ideas as well. Like, guys, comment. Like, is there anything that we've missed? Yeah, I want to hear what you guys have got to say about it as well. Help the brother out.
Absolutely. Massive thank you for Dr. Ron blessing us with his presence today.
Thank you for having me.
Big up.
Yeah, man.
So without further ado, like, comment, subscribe, notification bell. We're out. Peace.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Clack it. Okay. Thank you, Ron.